Duke the guy got 4 albums. 4. He ain't signed nobody. He signed A-Rod Music. I put him with J.R. and Hal Rell and 40 Cal. 40 Cal from my block. J.R. Hal Rell is from Luca Brasi. Now go my Duke. Good 4 albums. Even Jim. Jim did his own deal. Jim didn't want to wait. I don't blame him. Def Jam ain't want to give him no deal. Dame ain't want to give no deal. I didn't find Koch Records. Jim found Koch Records. I'm being honest about it. You know, I can sit here and hate on like it, be hating on me. I ain't gonna lie about it. That's the truth. They want to give Jim a deal. Me and Jim, they want to give me and Juelz a deal. They gave Juelz a solo deal, Diplomat Project a deal, and I have my own deal at Rockefeller for my solo project. They ain't want to give no deal. I don't know where the Jim found Koch Records at Allen Grunblatt. That's all his plug. That's a fact. So Jim was never signed to me.
They really let millions of dollars walk away just to keep Jim Jones out of the deal. Now hold on, because what Cameron just revealed about Jay-Z and Dame Dash flips the whole Dipset story on its head. We always heard rumors about bad business and people getting cut out. But Cam is saying something completely different. He's saying that Jim Jones was never even signed to him. Nobody wanted to give him a deal. Not Def Jam, not Rockefeller, nobody. And instead of holding him back, Cam is claiming he let everybody go get their own money. No contracts, no control, no ownership over their music. So now the real question becomes, was this bad business? Or was this a power move that left millions on the table and changed Dipset forever? Now I'm about to let y'all hear this for yourselves. But before y'all do, I just need y'all to like, leave y'all thoughts down below in the comment section, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
No, nobody was signed to me. Nobody was signed to me but Juelz. And when Juelz wanted to get out his deal, I let him out. It wasn't no argument, no beef in me. Him and Def Jam worked it out. He went directly to Def Jam. He got out his deal. Once he got out his deal, once he wanted out his deal, we figured out, I let him out his deal. So when that's why I'm like, who are you talking about? Or if you don't want to feel comfortable saying the names, I don't care. But the only person ever signed to me was Juelz. Duke the guy got 4 albums. 4. He ain't signed nobody. He signed A-Rod Music. I put him with J.R. and Hal Rell and 40 Cal. 40 Cal from my block. J.R. Hal Rell is from Luca Brasi. Now go my Duke. Good 4 albums. Even Jim. Jim did his own deal. Jim didn't want to wait. I don't blame him. Def Jam ain't want to give him no deal. Dame ain't want to give no deal. I didn't find Koch Records. Jim found Koch Records. I'm being honest about it. You know, I can sit here and hate on like it, be hating on me. I ain't gonna lie about it. That's the truth. They want to give Jim a deal. Me and Jim, they want to give me and Juelz a deal. They gave Juelz a solo deal, Diplomat Project a deal, and I have my own deal at Rockefeller for my solo project. They ain't want to give no deal. I don't know where the Jim found Koch Records at Allen Grunblatt. That's all his plug. That's a fact. So Jim was never signed to me. Hal Rell, JR, they was never signed to me. Only person Juelz, so when like bad business, who are you talking about? Because I ain't really have no business with other who talking about. Who else? What you talking about? Besides these people. I'm just asking, who else? Are you talking about?
I was just talking about people under the Diplomat label who felt that, you know, they were wrong. And I'm sure you've heard several people say that it's bad business. That's what I'm saying. Like, but not one in particular, but you've heard it.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Who?
Well, you just cleared it up. You said Jim was never signed to you. You know, the only person that was signed to you was Juelz. Or yes. J.R. Hal Rell, nobody was signed to you.
No, Duke neither.
So, okay.
Duke wouldn't have made Duke 4 albums. Duke was running a sweatshop out his crib selling Diplomat T-shirts, Diplomat CDs, him and Karen Civil. Shout out to Karen Civil, too. Shout out to Duke. Shout out to both of them. I ain't asking for no money. Now, if Duke gave me some money out of his pocket, like, yo, good looking killer, cool. I had no deal with him to get none of that money that was coming out the A building. All that. Coming out with garbage bags of shirts and CDs and all type of shit. I ain't getting none of that. I ain't getting nothing off none of them shit. So when it's like bad business, I'm be trying to figure out who you talking about. Hal Rell and JR, I told them possibly, yo, I can get you a deal. Let's just wait and see how this does. They didn't want to wait. I ain't knocking. I ain't holding them up. No, don't wait. Don't wait. Go do your deal. They went inside with a company called Baby Grand. I don't know how much they got, but I don't. It wasn't worth it because the sales. See, back then the sales scan mattered. When somebody's album came out, first thing everybody told what they did this first week, what they did the first week, what they did the first week, and if you didn't do good, that was bad for your second chance. And I was talking to Alan Grimlack about, probably doing some solo projects there, but they signed a Baby Grand and their soundtrack came back not looking good. And then when I go back to people to be like, yo, what's up with them? They're like, nah, we good. Because they wanted to get the money, and I'm not knocking them. I ain't hold them up. Baby Grand it is. Good luck. But it didn't work out for business with other people I was doing business with. So that's when like, yo, Cam, Jerry, this, that, that. None of y'all signing me. I like everybody, yo, go do the thing. Take the flag, make us look good. Talking about that Dipset, make us look good. Only person that can say something is Juelz, and when he wanted out, I let him out. So I don't know what he talking about.
The getting the masters back, was that from under you, or they had to go to Baby Grand? Because I heard them talking about getting their masters back. Would somebody have to come to you to get their masters back?
No. No.
Okay.
I don't own none of their music, bro.
Okay.
I'm trying to get all my masters back. I got my masters back from Atlantic and from Warner Brothers, but it's a 30-year term, so 2 years I get my back from my first 2 albums, and then waiting on them Come Home With Me and Purple Haze, because 30 years, Def Jam has the right to it and Sony has the right to it. Shout out to Joey I.E. and Tom Moskowitz, which was at Warner Brothers when we did the deal with Asylum. They had put in a contract that where after 6-7 years I get my masters back for Killer Season and other Crown Pays and all that stuff. I got the masters on that. But no, I don't own none of these masters. No. No. I don't own none of these.
Success hits different when nobody believed in you from the start. That's really what this whole situation comes down to for Jim Jones. Not contracts, not paperwork, but respect. Because when you listen to Cameron break it all down, it don't even sound like hate. It sounds like everybody was moving how they thought was best at the time. And sometimes that's just how business goes. But let's keep it 100. Jim Jones was the true underdog of Dipset. He wasn't the one that the labels were chasing. He wasn't the one getting the early push. But somehow, he still built himself into a brand. That kind of grind changes how you see everything. Most major label deals take ownership of your masters for decades. And that means artists can go 20 to 30 years before fully controlling their biggest music. So when you look at this whole situation, maybe Jim Jones missing that early deal wasn't a loss. Maybe it forced him to become who he is today, having that independent mindset, business first, and still standing. Now let me ask y'all this. Do you think Jim Jones would have reached the same level if Jay-Z and Dame Dash gave him that deal early on? And looking at everything now, do you think the tension between Cameron and Jim Jones was always business or something deeper? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.